ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here.
Hi, I'm Peggy Burton.
And it's almost summertime out there.
I can't believe it. I came out in a sweater and I
Me
thought
too,
it,
and
thought it
a
was going to be
vest
cold and it was hot as everything.
and the sun's
sun
shining.
is beautiful.
Isn't it great?
I'm sad about Alabama. A lot of devastation.
Did
tornado.
they have some bad luck down there? I didn't hear about
Well, I
that
didn't
yet.
watch much of the news, but they did. Yes, they had a tornado, and I think
In January.
in January.
You know, Fran said
And it's
last
going to
night
snow tomorrow.
Huh?
Yeah, I think it may snow here tomorrow. Did I read that right?
I don't know. Snowing somewhere. But we were talking about last night. Fran said there's some saying about thunder in January means something.
Oh, it
And
down
I
sure.
said, well, what is it? And she said, well, remember back when we were having dinner with somebody and she told me who it was, and that was like 40 years ago. And I said, no, baby, I don't remember
that.
what Joe Bob said 40 years ago at the Waffle House. You know, I don't know. I don't remember. So she'll figure it out, though. She's good about that stuff.
It's just Tennessee has interesting weather.
Welcome to Tennessee.
That's why I love to live here. Every day is a new day.
It is always a new day, and particularly in this lovely little town we live in, there's always stuff going on.
There's something happening.
You'll see some commercials on today, supposedly.
It's our first commercial break.
About Parkview Senior Living Center.
Oh, the
And
new
new place on Cedar Lane.
It's quite
and
beautiful.
It
Yeah.
is, and they're going to partner up with us and do some
Wonderful.
things. And I think February the 9th we will have Jenny Comstock, who's the director over there, is going to come on
And talk about the activities
and
what
talk
all's
about
happening.
what it's all about. And you know, there's a lot of people don't know exactly what it is and how they operate and what all they have in there. And so I'm going to go over and get a little video and then of the different things. They have a wonderful theater in there.
Oh, I think, yes,
know,
I've
so
read
there's all
there's
kinds of neat stuff.
activities. And I mean, my first impression was that maybe it was an assisted living, but it seems it is not. I want to make that clear. It is independent.
Yeah.
You purchase it, right?
No.
Or you
no,
rent
you
it.
rent.
You rent
It's,
it.
a lot of
Okay.
people thought it was condos. It's not condos. It's
But
rental.
it's just a rental
But
property.
you know, she'll be on a little bit. We'll run the commercial here in a
Great.
little bit, and we're proud to have them as part of one of the members of the Merry Troupe of P-Head Productions and our television
that was
programming.
a good
Glad to have them. Welcome,
good
welcome.
partnership.
Oh
Great.
yeah, nice folks, and hopefully when Jenny comes, I don't know for sure. The owner, a gentleman from Knoxville, and I think this is the third one of these that they built, and I
built.
think hopefully he'll be with us
And I assume
that day as well.
I assume it's been successful, or they wouldn't have
They
come
wouldn't
here.
be doing it.
Yeah.
And there's already
They
people
picked
moving in over
They've
there.
picked a really good spot.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's close to other activities besides what they have, close to the hospital, close to all
And the
that.
airport. You know, a lot of
And the
people
airport, right.
who live in places like that are people who travel.
Right.
And you're right there next to Tullahoma Airport, and which is one of the premier small airports in the state of Tennessee, has won awards numerous times.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff here in Tullahoma.
Yes, we do.
We need to be proud of Tullahoma.
We
I
do.
am. I
And
really am.
Josh Cole is going to be on today, the director of the Fine Arts Center. And starting February the 6th, we'll talk about that when Josh gets on the set, the National Watercolor Society
Which is a
show.
wonderful
will be housed
exhibit.
at the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center. And it again is being called, the name has been changed back to what it was,
Fine
the
Arts Center.
Tullahoma Fine Arts Center.
Frankly, I never understood why it was changed.
That's a long discussion that we just really
we
won't
just
bore
don't
these
need to get
people with.
into. Right.
There's no reason in boring them with it. If you want to hear it, you can,
Well,
you
you know,
can call me or go down to the Arts Center.
when you brand something,
It's been branded for
it's been
years
branded
and years
for a
and
long
years
time,
and
and
years.
all of your, just think about all your letterheads and everything is already printed, and when you change the name, you've got to get rid of all that.
That was
to me, it's a waste.
done by a group who were in charge over there at the time, who wanted to try to make it more inclusive to people other than fine artists, which you don't understand. When you start at fine art, that allows you to go from the top to the bottom. When you take fine art out of it, it makes it a craft
show,
fair, you know, in a way. So an inclusion, as we are learning in our country right now, is only a name has nothing to do with it unless the people involved are including other folks.
Exactly.
So what difference does it make? You can't change the name if you don't change your attitude.
If you don't change your attitude, that's right.
But Josh is doing a great job.
He is doing a great job, and I'm glad to see it thriving.
Oh yeah,
and especially in this time.
Right.
That makes me
feel
good.
But he'll tell us about all the classes and things they're doing, and he's a very good marketer, and he's gotten companies involved and people involved that hadn't been involved in a long time.
He's friendly, and he's inviting.
He's
inviting. That's what it is, and that's important. So,
and what do you got going on? Are you singing and dancing?
Well, I have to say we did cancel the Valentine dance in Bell Buckle. We'll pick it up again next year for the band, South Jackson Street Band. And again, about marketing, a lot of people think because we're the South Jackson Street Band that the South Jackson Civic Center owns us, and that's not true.
No.
It's just a name that we started many, many years ago. But yeah, we'll start playing again.
Sure.
We're going to start practicing again next month, and things will start to pick up, I think. But the Civic Center, they've sort of canceled everything through January and February. But we hope to have Craig Terry here in March. Good. And in April, we have moved the Jazz on Jackson show with Eric Mentel to April. We're going to do it on April 30th, which is National Jazz Day, which I thought was a good day. Anyway,
and he's been here before. He has
very been exciting. Here before. And he's very interested in paranormal activity, because that's something he does besides his music.
He ought to feel right at home at South Jackson Civic Center.
That's what he heard.
That's as paranormal a place as I can think of around here.
I know. There's a lot of people that swear they hear voices and eerie noises.
It's theater.
That I don't know. I have the idea it's something Glendale Swan started a long time ago. Glendale was great at ghost stories.
Oh yeah. So I've walked around in there by myself at night and felt
eerie.
Yeah. And I'm not a person that's really. I walked through the warehouse district of New York City one night by mistake, and I wasn't scared there. I wouldn't be scared walking around in the Civic Center, but there's a feeling there from time to time that you're going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is somebody watching?
Is somebody watching me?
You know, you just feel something. So isn't that exciting and wonderful?
I know.
I think it's great.
Sometimes it's good to have somebody with you.
Yeah, it's true. I read the piece that I wrote recently, moving the sticks, and we went into the studio with that last week in Nashville.
How'd it go?
And we got a good start on it, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh,
the only one thing that excites me about it is the engineers who do a studio, are in a studio and produce music. And Philip will tell you this, Philip Scoggins, because he did it at Moraine Studios. He did Dolly and not Dolly, but the Judds and Kenny Rogers and a lot of these people. The song they produce a song no matter whether it's good or not good. They're getting paid to produce a song.
Their job is just to produce a song. They
have a bunch of stuff come in there that's horrid written, horrid singers.
Anyway.
But the guys in there or girls in there with a checkbook, and that's your job.
Yeah, you put it together.
And while we were doing this song, after we lived with it for a little while, I looked at Jim and I said, well, and he said, this is a really good song.
Oh, good.
So that's a good thing for an engineer to say.
Sure it is. And they know.
Oh yeah, they know. So it's fun. So, and what that does is that ramps them up to a different level of what they want to make out of it.
Sure.
you know, and who's going to be involved
and
how we're going to do
they
it.
may add a little
So it's
few
fun
extra
for me.
things.
I hadn't been in the studio in a while, and it was really enjoyable.
Well, I'm waiting for it to be a big success and hit the hit parade.
So, Super Bowl.
Well, I know they're
The
going to have it.
Buccaneers, Tom Brady, and the Chiefs,
Are going to.
Magic Man Mahomes, will be playing. This will be Tom Brady's 11th appearance in the Super Bowl,
Super
and he's
Bowl.
won 6.
And is that the event where they're having all the health workers come in for free
I
tickets?
really don't know yet.
I heard
think
something
so,
about that,
yeah,
which I thought
so.
was a really nice thing.
Yeah, so.
But I believe everybody that's there has to have had the COVID shots or at least been tested or something.
whatever.
Anyway, it's a nice thing to do.
Yeah, it is. So what I want to do is share a couple of things with you to keep on your mind today. You might have heard these before. These came from back a ways. Differently. I live differently every day because the days are never the same. There's always something different in my way, so each day I play a different game. The point is to navigate the channel. Keep in tow the things you hold true, so when you dock, you haven't dismantled the things that made you you.
I like that.
So when we're through with all of this stuff, you know, we've been given a lot of time to be social distanced and alone, to live with ourselves and maybe recreate ourselves. So make sure when you come back out, it's the good part you kept.
I think I do that every day when I get up. I have a new chance.
If love could talk, what would it say? Tell hate to get out of the way. Search for Cupid's arrows flying through the air. Spend more time without underwear. Purge those who covet despair. Find those in need of care, so when they suffer, you'll be there. Wake up each morning embracing the day. If love could talk, that's what it'd say.
That's sweet.
You know, so if love could talk. Becky Buller's song that's tearing everything up. A little more love and a little more heart, a little more heart and less attack. My name is John Gray, H-less John. In Spanish, I am Juan. I am Gray to the T. That equals great. So I am one great. One great what? Guy, friend, husband, father, brother, businessman, designer, artist, writer, singer, clown. I was given a button that says almost famous, not great. Proudly, that's good enough for me because I have had one great life. Yes, my name is John Gray. Ain't that great?
Sure
That
it
just
is.
shows you how, folks, if you're a writer and you say, I've got writer's block, write about your name. There's always something you can write about. If you want to write, there it is. The past is a foreign country. If the past is a foreign country, how many passports must I have? How many sovereign states have I lived and loved in, then left? What language will my name be pronounced in tomorrow? As I search for another location, fly me to the moon. In this world, I am trapped by my past. More space is needed to meet the tomorrows where I can continue to grow unbridled. So you have been given all kinds of space to recreate yourself over this pandemic year. When you come back out, shine like the sun. We'll be back after these messages.
Now open in Tullahoma, Parkview Senior Living, a luxurious retirement community designed for active seniors. Choose an apartment home that's truly inspired and have peace of mind knowing our caring and friendly staff is dedicated to your safety and well-being. We offer an abundance of amenities and services, and you're not required to buy in or be locked into anything. Call us today to learn more about our new Tullahoma location.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment.
He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up
without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. I've just met Ashley Abraham with the United Way, and I'm delighted to have her here on the set. She's out begging money like everybody else does. No. I'm kidding.
No,
you all do such a great job.
Thank you.
The United Way. And how long have you been involved?
So I began last March, right when COVID hit. That's when I began.
Great.
I know, but I, hit the ground running, and it's been just a really great experience.
I'm glad. Well, we're happy to have you here, and
Thank you.
I know you have a few things you'd like to go over. Maybe just tell people what United Way is and does.
Yes, so we support the citizens of Coffee, Moore, and Warren County by increasing access to education, income, health, and basic essentials, which I know is very broad, but we connect with our local nonprofits in those 3 counties. They have to serve those 3 counties. This year we allocate funds to 16 local nonprofits.
That's quite a bit of...
It is, and that's a lot of different missions. They all do different things. The Shepherd's House is the homeless, and Partners for Healing is the working uninsured.
Right.
So there's 16 different missions there that we allocate funds yearly. Now we do this every year. We do a allocations call, which means that we interview anybody that wants to, any 501c3 that wants to apply for this so-called grant. They can yearly. We usually do it in the spring, every spring. So it's not the same 16 every year. And it's not 16. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Yeah, and I think our goal is to know, we want more and new nonprofits to apply.
Sure.
We want, and I know there's...
So if there are some people out there that are wanting to apply, they can just contact call that number.
Call the number.
I was thinking I was looking at a website, but we don't have a website there
well,
yet.
Our
you probably have one.
Yes, our website is highway55unitedway.org. Yes,
Okay.
It's just switched. I don't know. It's highway55unitedway.org. So you can go on that now and find out, and you can look at our 16 local nonprofits that we allocate funds to. It has information. The application will be on there.
So do you have a certain criteria for people that want to apply?
Yes, they have to. They do have to turn in certain financial things and proof that they're 501c3. I think they have to be a 501c3 for a year or more, just so we make sure they're established.
Yeah.
But there are some criteria. They do have to fill out the application online, or I can send it to them. But once we send this out, usually I'll send it out in the newspapers, on social media, every means necessary to get the information out to our nonprofits. So they know about it.
Right. So, and I'm sure there's several people that don't realize that
they
could possibly get some extra help, and they may be hurting a lot.
And this has definitely been an interesting time for any nonprofit at all. I mean, it's been hard to fundraise, and we felt that too. But luckily, we've reached out to a lot of their business owners and the community just for help in that. And luckily, we were still able to allocate the $40,000 to the 16 local nonprofits this past year.
That's wonderful.
Yes,
it's pretty amazing that you were able to pull that off in this pandemic year.
And I think we have an amazing community. We really do, full of so many caring individuals, and I really do think they see the need. And the big thing is, if we weren't able to allocate those funds, then those nonprofits would not be maybe able to carry on their missions in our community, which is...
And all of these missions or activities are what validates us as a wonderful place to live.
Exactly.
And
it strengthens our community.
It strengthens our community a lot.
I know.
And I think a lot of, especially people that are good at giving and graciously give, I think they realize that. Mm-hmm. And we're so blessed in this community, and we're blessed to have people like you that'll do this job.
Thank you. I'm definitely learning every day, like anybody else. But it's been something that I really care about. I really want to help as many as I can. I volunteered before this position at Partners for Healing and some of the nonprofits, so I did get to learn a little bit about what they do in the community, and it was just an eye-opener.
Sometimes it's enlightening just to see
enlightening.
How important they are and what they do.
Exactly. And it's just like, if you want to know, the biggest thing is getting involved, I think, is just volunteering for these nonprofits, reaching out to them, seeing, because usually at every nonprofit, every person has many, many jobs.
And you can't put a monetary price on any of it.
And they're working overtime. I mean, doing all these different jobs. So it's
just to keep it going.
Yes,
it's really important.
Yeah. So they do care. They really do care. And I think most of the directors and the employees at any nonprofit, they extremely care about what they do.
I think it's important to remind people that United Way is always needing money, and your check is tax deductible.
Yes.
And if you're making a lot of money, you might just be happy to get rid of some of it on a nice thing like this.
Exactly.
And it lowers your taxes a little bit and puts your money in a good place.
Yes.
And I think it's really important.
Yeah, and it's safe, and we do make sure, like I said, we make sure it goes and it stays here in our community. And that's a big thing.
I love that. Yes. I do. To boost up your community should be what we're all interested in, and making it a better place to live, and making people want to come here to live.
Exactly.
Which I think
we want to make sure anybody's donation is being taken care of, and I mean that's the biggest thing, is that it stays here. It doesn't go. We do have now we spread that money out in different ways to our local nonprofits, which there's 16 of those, and then also we connect with businesses and churches and schools and meet the needs of the community. For example, this past year we donated with Chick-fil-A, partnered with them, and donated $7,000 to all the 7 Tullahoma City schools.
How wonderful.
And it was more for hand sanitizer, things that we didn't really think about and need before.
You don't realize how much, how many things they need that.
Yes,
just
and we wanted to make sure
things.
And help them be prepared for this very interesting school year with all these kids.
That was great.
So we gave $1,000 to each school here. And they gave us a list of their needs, because every school has different needs depending on elementary, high school, whatever it is. So they did give us a list that way.
So are you continuing that, or maybe next year?
You know, maybe next year. We love helping our school systems, just because, I mean, it's about our children. That's the next generation.
That's the next generation.
Yeah.
If we lose them, we're really in trouble.
So we definitely want to continue helping them. But that's an example of how we connected with a business and helped others. National Aerospace Solutions, that's one of our biggest donors. This past year, let me get my notes because I don't want to be wrong. So for the 2021 campaign, we just took a picture with them and did a news article, but they're going to donate this next year $33,149.
That is wonderful.
Now that's the employee donation drive that they do. So that's their employees, which is amazing. And any business can do this. They can deduct a little from their paycheck every month. Anything helps. I mean, it doesn't matter. Anything.
And if you would like to donate out there in the public, $5 to $5,000.
Exactly.
Every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps. And so but yes, National Aerospace Solutions has definitely been a big contributor, and we really appreciate them. Jack Daniels donated $1,000. We just reached out to them, so that was amazing. And another Dan and Fran Markham did $1,000.
Dan and Fran Markham are always
so
amazing
sweet.
people. I love them.
I know, they're so sweet. I have a meeting with them later today, so I'm excited. But we also have started up our workshops. And what is that? Yes. So we did these in the past, but through United Way, it's a nonprofit assistant clinic in NAC, which offers free training programs through United Way, consulting to nonprofit professionals. So it could be around grant writing, and
so you're helping people learn to do all these things to help boost up their organization.
Exactly.
Actually, they're turning me off.
Okay.
You can come back next week if you want to, and we'll talk about it again. So nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
We'll be back.
Thank you.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron. And chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory. And marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. And, you know, as you look back through life, you realize, particularly when you get a little bit older, all of the things during your life that sort of like that thing I read earlier, that the experiences that have made you who you are. And Hank Aaron passed away this past week, and one of the greatest baseball players ever to live. And Hank Aaron, when he played in Atlanta, spent a lot of time with our partner and my friend Jimmy Fuller, because Jimmy ran a hotel down there, and Hank liked to come over to the hotel and sometimes stayed there when he was in town or moving through something. And he and Jimmy were buddies. And you know how incredible an experience to have as you're passing through to rub elbows and be with a person like that not on a professional basis, but on a personal basis. And Jimmy has some great stories about Hank. If you can capture him, get him to tell you some of the stuff. Just a great baseball player, but better than that, he was a great man. And he did a lot of good things back before everybody was going, oh, let me have a foundation and let me do this and let me do that in competition with each other. Hank just did stuff for folks that needed it when they needed it. And Philip has found a nice tribute to Hank Aaron that we're going to play right now. And just remember back number 44.
He's mostly a risk hitter. He hits at the last second, and when you think the ball is past him, he will hit the ball quick.
Rather the catcher's glove.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, he'll hit it hard.
The thing that people should know about Henry is how good a player he was, how good an all-around player he was. That's one of the most overlooked aspects of his career.
One of the things that all good hitters have to deal with is people say, oh, he was just gifted. He wasn't just gifted. He worked and worked and worked to get where he was.
I studied the game very much. You know, I could tell you at the end of the season, if I hit 40 home runs, who I hit those 40 home runs off of.
And here is Henry Aaron. This crowd is up all around. He's sitting on 714.
How would Henry Aaron describe Henry Aaron's 715th home run?
A swing, a long drive, way back, way back, way back. It's gone!
In the American's mind, Babe's still the king, you know, but in the minds of us that play baseball, that are in baseball, Hank is the king, and you know, he'll always be the king.
Before he was the king, he was Henry Aaron from Mobile, Alabama. Alongside his 7 siblings, Henry grew up in a segregated neighborhood, often at the center of racial tension.
I remember many times, you know, as a little boy growing up, that the Ku Klux Klan would come marching down the street for no reason at all. My mother would tell me, said, son, go hide under the bed.
Through all the hate, violence, and fear growing up, Aaron had one outlet.
And my father asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, I want to play Major League Baseball. My father knew good and well that if things stayed the way that they were, there was never going to be an opportunity.
But thanks to the courage of one man, things didn't stay the way they were. In 1947, when Aaron was 13 years old, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. A year later, Aaron told his father he'd be in the big leagues before he retired, a prophecy he would eventually fulfill. Henry would begin his journey in 1952, quitting high school to join the Indianapolis Clowns of the Negro Leagues.
I didn't have much to carry. I had a suitcase with one pair of pants in it. That's number one. And I had $2 in my pocket, so I had to make sure that I spent it very wisely.
The Milwaukee Braves spent their money wisely, purchasing Aaron from the Clowns for $10,000. In 1953, he played for the Braves' minor league affiliate in Jacksonville, one of the first integrated teams in the Southern League.
We were not able to stay with our teammates. We wasn't able to change clothes in some of the ballparks with our teammates. You realized that they were not right, but by the same token, you felt like you had to do them in order to make things better for someone else who was coming behind.
The backdrop of social injustice did not deter Aaron from excelling on the field. He won the league MVP award, earning him an invite to Braves spring training the following year. That spring, all Hank wanted was a fair shot.
Just given the chance to do the same thing that they were afforded the freedom to do, then if I fail, then you can let me go, but just give me the opportunity.
Aaron was given that opportunity on March 14th when he cracked the starting lineup after outfielder Bobby Thompson broke his ankle the previous day.
Charlie Grimm went into the dugout and saw Henry, but he didn't call him Henry. He just said, hey, you're in right field. He got up there in St. Petersburg, and he hit a home run, first time at bats. Now, what do you think he did the second time? Another home run.
It was a break, no question about it. You know, I was in the right place at the right time.
After that break, Aaron never looked back. He was selected to the All-Star game in 1955 and 56 and followed those campaigns with one of the most prolific seasons in his 23-year career.
What are you hoping for in 1957? I hope I can gain the National League Batting Championship, and I also hope that I can hit 30 or more home runs and drive in 100 or more runs.
Hank exceeded his own expectations in 57, batting .322 while hammering 44 home runs and driving in 132, en route to winning the MVP award.
That was the year I honestly believed that he would have hit 400. He was getting at least 2 hits in almost every game.
One hit that season Aaron would never forget would come on September 23rd in the 11th inning of a tie game with the Cardinals with a chance to clinch the pennant.
The pitch to Henry Aaron, a swing and a drive back into center field, going back towards the wall. It's a home run. The Braves are the champions of the National League.
I dreamed about that. I used to think about, well, wouldn't it be nice for you to hit a pennant clinching or tie-breaking home run and skip around the bases, you know? It was a tremendous moment for me.
The blast propelled the Braves to a meeting with the defending champion Yankees in the Fall Classic, a stage to no one's surprise. Aaron excelled.
Aaron rockets a terrific drive, 430 feet into the bullpen in left center. To that blast, third homer of the series for Aaron.
The Braves won the World Series in 7 games. Aaron batted .393 and drove in 7 runs, helping him draw adoration from fans and respect from peers.
I think the best hitter maybe right now that we're talking is Henry Aaron right now in baseball. I think he's able to wait and keep his hands back and swing real quick at the ball.
Aaron was consistently great for 2 decades, making the All-Star game every year from 1955 to 1975. He would belt 30 or more home runs in 15 different seasons and was a .300 hitter in 14 different years. But for those who played with and against Hank, he was much more than a great slugger.
A lot of things wasn't recognized that Aaron did because he did it with such ease.
Think about how many hits he had. 3,700 and some odd hits, right? Close to 3,800. You take away the 755 home runs he hit, and he still got 3,000 hits.
Aaron hit at least 40 home runs in 8 seasons, and by the end of 1973, he had 713 career home runs, just one shy of Babe Ruth's revered record, a record some people did not want him to break.
And I got millions and millions of pieces of mail from people that were resentful simply because of the fact that who I was, and they just was not ready for a black man to break that record.
I mean, he showed us the hate mail, yeah. Some of it was nasty. Some of it was just way nasty. It wasn't all from the South either. It was from all over the country.
Probably half of them were illegitimate, but one could be for real, and that would be the end.
Through it all, Henry Aaron persevered. His pursuit of baseball's most cherished record continued. And on opening day of 1974, he took his place alongside Babe Ruth.
3-1 pitch. There's a drive into left field. That ball is going, and out of here. Henry Aaron has just tied Babe Ruth in the all-time home run parade. The record they said that couldn't be reached has just been reached by Henry Aaron.
4 days later, Aaron and the Braves headed home to Atlanta.
Hit him for me, Hank. Hit him my way.
On April 8, 1974, the Braves hosted the Dodgers in the first home game of the season, with Aaron one swing away from surpassing the Sultan of Swat.
Someone told me later on, said it was cold. I didn't feel a thing. They said it was drizzling. I didn't feel a thing.
Hank told me, that what he was going to do. He said, I'm tired of this. I'm going to get this over with right now.
Here's the pitch by Downey. Swinging. There's a drive into left center field. That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone. It's 7:15. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron.
Thought about you come a long ways, baby. It's from Mobile, Alabama, all the way to breaking one of the most prestigious records in baseball. I feel very proud of myself. I don't know how my mother ever got out of the stand, but I guess she was bent on being out there, which was fine with me, but she gave me the biggest, tightest hug I ever had in my life. I don't know how I got loose.
He had tears on his cheek and tears in his eyes, and I remember being stunned. I said, Henry Aaron is crying.
What a marvelous moment for baseball. What a marvelous moment for Atlanta and the state of Georgia. What a marvelous moment for the country and the world. A black man is getting a standing ovation in the Deep South for breaking a record of an all-time baseball idol.
I just thank God it's all over with. Thank you very much.
At the time he called it quits, Aaron was second all-time in runs and hits and had more home runs, RBIs, and total bases than anyone who ever played the game, a tribute to the remarkable quality and consistency of his career.
The way to fame is like the way to heaven, through much tribulations. It had been for me, to quote a very popular song, a long and winding road.
He was a pillar of strength, and if anybody, black, white, red, or Technicolor has a problem, you can look at Henry Aaron and say, look at the strength he had.
I think that people can look at me and say, he was a great baseball player, but he was even a greater human being.
My great-grandfather started it in 1900, and now it's 2020, which is 120 years. We still measure your feet, still try to help you find a good fit. We're just a good old-fashioned shoe store where we'll measure your feet, make sure you're in the right size, and help you find a comfortable shoe for men, women, and children.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rickman. And this is Pat Welch, and we're here today, John, for segment 54 of the Conversation with John and Pat. It's been pointed out by production that we now have over a year's worth of shows. In fact, this will be 2 weeks past a year. 52 weeks in a year, John. This song I'm going to sing is
based off of a Bible verse, 1 Thessalonians 4:16, and it was written by Mr. Black back in 1893. When the roll is called up yonder.
But whoa. The song was written by Mr. Black. The verse was been written by the Apostle Paul.
Well, I'm not going to argue with that. But it wasn't written just the way, but it transcends, the message comes through the chorus. I'll have to read and make sure I'm correct on that. When the trumpet of the Lord shall call and time will be no more, and the morning breaks eternal, bright and fair. When the saved of earth shall gather over on the other shore, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, when the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. Let us labor for the Master from the dawn till setting sun. Let us think of all His wondrous love and care. And when all of life is over and our work on here is done, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, when the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. That's a good old song.
That is a good
Been
song,
around
John.
a long
time.
Since 1893, but you said, the New Testament does, it was first.
Correct.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
We're talking about the first Little League state championship team, and that occurred 1984.
82. Was it 2 or 4? 4. 84.
84.
Yeah.
I've got an article here, and we'll mention the boys on that team in the first row. Temple Bowling, Wayne Bird, Danny Riddle, Stacy Smith, Tracy Smith, Todd Branch, Patrick Cushman. Back row, Coach Jackie Revis, Chris Rickman, Sean Elrod, Vondell Hickerson, Gary Phillips, Craig Revis, Ted Farrell, Clyde Petty, and manager Charles Riddle. Great team. They went on to the Southeastern Conference play, I believe it was in Florida, St. Petersburg, I think.
Yeah.
And they were a great team. Jackie Revis is of course a great coach. And you and I can do his voice pretty good, can't we, Pat? When we really concentrate. Yeah. And Pat, he's a great Christian man. Good man. So fine, and has a lot to do with your FCA here. And
though he lives in Murfreesboro in Florida now, anytime that Fellowship of Christian Athletes has an event, and we had a fundraiser, I guess 3 weeks ago now, he blew in there like a Tasmanian devil and emptied his pockets, I can tell you that.
One person I'd like to make reference to, and Pat and I will talk about him a little bit, is Charles Riddle over there on the right. The gentleman, a little taller than Jackie. And he is absolutely a gentleman. His wife passed away, and then Ann Danewood, husband, passed away, and Charles and Ann married.
You would have known Ann because Ann taught at East.
Yes, she was.
While you were over there, she was a great lady.
But something about Charles Riddle that some of you may know and may not know, that he had 4 sons. And Danny, third from the left on the front row, is his son, Danny, number 11. And but he had 4 sons at one time, and there was a tragic automobile accident in Tullahoma where he had 3 sons killed. Those 3 sons. Danny was the only one.
They were parked or stopped at a stoplight, and somebody came about 70 or 80 miles an hour from behind and hit them without braking and killed them. Horrible tragedy. In fact, when they went out, they planned on, Danny was planning on going with them, and right at the last minute decided not to go, or he would have lost all of his sons.
I guess what we'll talk about here is how a man keeps going with his faith, no matter what.
Yeah, we can. He and Ann, I went to church with, and Charles is a quiet, real steady kind of guy, and I taught and still teach high school Sunday school have for a while, and I had a lesson coming up, and the guide wanted me to find somebody in the church that had faced a lot of tough situations, but as an influence to your students, had not overcome it, but been able to live with it, and has faith had strengthened him during those times. And so I thought about Charles. So I called him up, and he seemed fine about it, and said, well, we need to have you there at 10:30, Charles. He said, I'll be there. And he said, this is the first time I have done this, but I believe I can do it. So next Sunday, 10:30 came, and there wasn't any Charles, and about 10 more minutes later, there wasn't any Charles. So I called the house, and Ann answered the phone, and she knew what was going on, of course, immediately. And she said, Pat, he won't be able to come. And I said, I'm so sorry. And she said, well, he left, but he got about halfway there and was just overcome with emotion and had to come back. But I told my class, most of which this class normally meets between two services, and I go to early service, but most of the class being teenagers goes to second service, and Charles and Ann did too. And I told my class, I said, that he can't make it, but I'll tell you as a living testimony to this man's faith, I bet he'll be there in about 20 more minutes. And sure enough, he came in there, and then it made a dent on my students, and he never had to say a word. Yeah. Great guy, great family, great people.
What more can you say after a story like that?
Yeah.
And I hope someone that sees this maybe will pass this on to Ann and Charles and let them know.
They're living in Nashville now, I believe. In fact, I have not seen them in 4 or 5 years, and this is going to make me try to seek them out and check back with them. Yeah,
that's good. That's segment 54, Pat.
54 is a somber one, but one that we hope strengthens people. And if management will let us be back, we're coming back for 55. Thank you.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Now open in Tullahoma, Parkview Senior Living, a luxurious retirement community designed for active seniors. Choose an apartment home that's truly inspired and have peace of mind knowing our caring and friendly staff is dedicated to your safety and well-being. We offer an abundance of amenities and services, and you're not required to buy in or be locked into anything. Call us today to learn more about our new Tullahoma location.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and I'm glad to have Josh Cole with me today, the director of the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center, and we talked about that a little bit earlier. And Josh is going to tell us many things. One, about the American Watercolor Society show, but other than that, all of the different things that are going on at the Art Center right now. Josh, give us a rundown of classes and the things that are happening, because it's like that thing is like bloomed before spring even got here.
Well, we've been working hard. We have a great board of directors, a great team, support team. We've added on. We've got a grant writer in different positions now. When we reverted back, some people know we reverted back to the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center.
Right.
That was something that should have happened a long time ago. But what we've done is we have structured our classes to support the fine arts. So all of our classes are sold out right now, but we have stained glass, watercolor, acrylic, the list goes on, and it all focuses around the fine arts and teaching people the fine arts programs. We're currently working on trying to get those programs accredited as well.
Right.
So that's a big plus for the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center, is that we're able to bring something to the community at a low cost that eventually we're working on trying to get it to where it's no cost. So that's something we're working on. Our children's programs are under the direction of Joy Sneed, who used to work at the Good Shepherd, and she has really developed that program. She's got 3 new programs. We have a new after-school program starting. It's Wednesdays is 1:30 to 3, but then Monday through Friday is 3:30 to 5. So parents can actually drop their children off. They're learning something, having fun, and somebody's watching them while they're at work.
Right.
So it works perfect.
And I'm going to ask you a question right here, because we want people to realize, this one thing we've got to make sure that happens is the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center is inclusive.
Yes.
And are there some scholarship things, or the way that a young person who isn't able to pay for something but is talented and needs to be tutored to make them into as great an artist as they possibly can be? Is there help there?
Yeah, that's a good question, John. At first we thought about doing a scholarship program that would help people like, lower income or people that just couldn't afford it.
Right.
But after the board talked about it more and more, what we've decided to do is all children's programs at the Art Center that are TFAC programs are free of charge. So children can come in at any time, schedule, and it's free.
That's one way to fix that problem,
Right.
isn't it?
So it got rid of all the complicated paperwork.
Right.
So,
Very good.
Yeah.
See, I guarantee y'all didn't know that, did you?
Well, here
they
we
do
are.
now.
Now they do. We haven't announced it yet, but we just did
there it is. Breaking news, folks.
So, the children's programs they're developing a curriculum. So 1 month they'll work on nothing but watercolor. The next month they'll work on nothing but acrylic. And now that it's amazing that now that we have new instructors, like I said, we have those, and then we just had 2 sculpting instructors come on board. We have a pottery instructor. We just had 2 kilns. We purchased a kiln, and we had 1 donated. So all of our programs are really
we have blessings. The blessings are abundant at the Art
Right.
Center.
So everything's coming together.
Right.
So with all of that said, what about hours right now?
We actually, starting today, the 26th, we go back 10 to 5, Tuesday through Saturday. We're closed on Sunday and Monday. We need a break. We work hard. So Tuesday through Saturday, we work 10 to 5.
That's very good.
Yes.
Because we've gone through a lot of time when there was a day or 2 days a week the place was open, and it's hard to. What I look forward to is when there will also be some time after 5 for the folks who work every day all day.
Right. And
of course, they have Saturday.
Right, and we're working towards that. I was talking with Peggy earlier this morning, and what we're hoping to do is, right now we're working 10 to 5. As long as the COVID numbers stay kind of where they are, we're okay with that. And we may start increasing hours once or twice a week. That way we can add classes. We do have classes in the evenings. Usually I think they're 5:30 to 8:30 or 6:30 or later. So you just have to look for those time frames. So.
And before we get into the big reveal, we want you to remember that the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center has a great gift shop.
Oh yes, and we actually just expanded that. So we actually now have 2 rooms because we've had so many artists. We just had a photographer come in from Hendersonville that has brought in stuff. So we're having to find more room, and so we're growing. And we worked on that the last couple days, and adding more shelving and more tracks and more of this, you know, making it appealing to add more artists in.
And put a single on me, Philip. Right over my shoulder is a piece done by Kay Foote. And Kay, of course, doesn't live here anymore, but is still involved.
Yes.
What I love about the gift shop is you can go in there, and there are artists like Kay. You can buy greeting cards with a piece of real art that is one of a kind. I mean, it's a print of a one of a kind that some wonderful artist has done, and you get you get them for $5.
Oh yeah.
And that's something, you know, that you can send to someone, because I'm one that still believes in writing notes, and you're sending somebody a piece of original art.
Right.
And so stop by that gift shop and see what's in there. Now,
and we have tons of artists. We have paintings and pottery, and we have a little bit of everything. AJ Martin, or AJ Stills from Shelbyville, is coming on as a pottery instructor, and he's bringing in tons of pottery for sale. We're starting a clothing line with the historic logos.
All right.
This was printed by the Tullahoma High School Digital Arts and Design program at the high school. So we're doing a fundraiser right now. These are $15. You can order them on our website, and part of the money goes to the Fine Arts Center, but it also supports Tullahoma High School.
Very good.
So, and this one's for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What about now? Let's get to the watercolor show real quick. We got about a minute and a half.
If you don't know about the American Watercolor Show, we do it every 2 years. It is February 6th through the 27th, so the opening is the 6th. Tickets for members are $10, and that includes South Jackson Civic Center, Tullahoma Fine Arts Center, and other local area art centers. If you're not a member, it's $20, and you can buy those online at tullahomaart.org. Or call the Art Center at 931-455-1234.
Or at the door.
Or at the door.
And this is a show that is how many pieces are juried? I know there's probably a couple thousand, maybe.
From all over the world. There's 100 and something juried, and I think the traveling exhibition has 40 to 60 pieces that come in on tractor trailer, which will be delivered next week.
Next week, and it takes proper installation.
Yes.
There's a big old book about that deep of rules and things you have to do. But this is some of the best watercolor art. Certainly in the United States, and some pieces from around the world. And it only goes to about 5-6 places a year.
There's 8 total.
8
total. After it leaves us, it goes to Virginia.
And little Tullahoma, Tennessee, because of the vision of Lucy Hollis and the board of the Art Center years ago, constructed the other half of that building in a way that would allow these type of shows to come to Tullahoma.
Yes, and this is the first year that we're actually utilizing the entire building. Because if you've been to the Art Center recently, you know that we have multiple exhibit halls now. So it'll actually be spread through the entire building instead of just one room.
Outstanding.
Yep.
Josh, thanks.
You're welcome, John.
Thanks
for
for
having us.
you're doing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
We appreciate you very much. go see the watercolor show and get involved with the Tullahoma Arts Center. What's a membership?
Individuals are $30 a year, families are $45.
$45 a year for your family to be able to go in there and see all of this wonderful art for a year. Folks, be a member, help support one of the threads of that is in the fabric of our wonderful little village we live in, Tullahoma. You be part of it. We'll see you back in just a minute.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat, you know? They do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the Paintworks at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
People in TV land, thank you, John, and thank you, camera lady and camera gentleman, for putting a good, clear, contrasty, colorful picture on the screen. We're glad you could be with us today, and we hope that you've had a nice past weekend, Memorial Day, that meant so much to so many people. And you know, the thought just occurred to me in driving around Tullahoma that there's some material that has been used for so many years to build these fine old residences, and there's not a lot of old residences or buildings left in Tullahoma. Many of them have been either razed or destroyed by fire, and they're just not there like they used to be. but those that are there are stately, and I remember growing up how people would, almost all the homes in Tullahoma had wood shingle roofs for many, many years, and not many of those left in Tullahoma. There are 2 or 3 homes that have the slate roofs. That's real heavy and they last forever. I think the one of the residences that have slate roofs on them is the Lewis apartment building on South Anderson Street, and maybe the old Graham home there on the corner, I think at one time had a slate roof, and the Hollyberry Inn that was originally the home of Mr. G.D. Hicks has a slate roof on it. But why do you mention building materials and things of that nature? Because it's been a great part of our heritage in Tullahoma through the years. And I don't remember ever being any caves or cavemen or mountain men that lived here, but the pioneers and the Indians lived in this area for a long, long time because they had water from Big Spring and land that they could grow food on and that sort of thing, even tobacco that they like to grow and sell and use. And as time progressed, the first residence that we know of that was built in Tullahoma was a log cabin, and that log cabin was discovered a few years ago as the Gano Bustle homestead on South Atlantic Street. And Tommy Allen and his volunteers took that cabin apart and put it back together on the grounds of the South Jackson Civic Center, right next to the Civic Center there on South Jackson Street. That was, to our knowledge, was the first residence built here in Tullahoma. And later as homes were built with lap siding, wood frames, everything was wood about them from top to bottom. And they didn't have concrete blocks at that time for footings. I think some of the early foundations were of just concrete. And speaking of concrete, there wasn't any ready mixed plants, concrete plants at all. They had a great big wooden tub that they put sand and cement and gravel all together and poured water on it. And then they had a what looked like a hole with big holes in the blade of that hole that they mixed that concrete with, and built the foundations with it. And later they did use concrete for footings. Besides being level with the ground, they'd with wooden forms they would build them up, and then of course later concrete blocks that are used to this day to make the foundations and footings for every kind of building then. And then as time went on, there was the rock, crab orchard rock and crab orchard stone for buildings. And then back in the late 20s and 30s, stucco was the material used for building. Stucco, and Mr. T.C. May was a master stucco builder. And as time went on rapidly, the sidings were brick and permastone, and the current material that's being used so much now is the vinyl siding, aluminum siding and vinyl, plastic siding, and it's being used quite a bit today. You can see a lot of those on North Washington Street. And that brings us to the final thought for today is about the Tullahoma bricks that were made around the turn of the century. And we've spoken about that before, but that was an important part of building material in this area. Sure do thank you for watching, and this is not the end of the story because there's a whole lot more to come, and we'll see you next week. Have a good day.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department needs you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. I'm on the set today with Lyle Russell with Tullahoma Parks and Recreation. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm hanging in.
That's good. That's good.
What's going on at your part of the world?
Yeah, it's been difficult. COVID's been very tough on us. So right now we're not able to do much in the way of programming. Our buildings are still open. You can still come in and use the weight room and the indoor pool. And
do you have restrictions on that, like how many can be in the?
There are, and it varies a little bit. We usually with the pool we have 6 lanes. So right now you can't do lane sharing. So it can get a little crowded first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
But everybody's been really good about working with us on the difficult things we have to do during the pandemic that restrict us. So we appreciate that because that makes it much easier on us.
Right.
When people
I think
are
people do understand. They just learned.
Yes. Yeah. But because even though we're not able to do a lot of programming right now, the work doesn't stop. So one of my other job duties is I'm also the city forester, which.
And you've got a big project going on. Is that right?
We've got a couple of projects going on actually.
Let's hear about it.
A little bit of forestry, but a little bit of parks programming at the same time. One of the projects is the new Greenway Trailhead that's in the parking lot by Ollie's and Food Lion there. We've started a project down there. We got a grant from the TWRA for water cleanup, and we've designated that area down there to be about 130 yards or so from the bridge to the end of that park. That we're going to be working on Rock Creek right there, cleaning out some of the trash that gets in the water. There's the tires occasionally end up in there and that sort of thing. So
invariably.
But surprisingly, we started some clearing, getting rid of some dead trees and some of the privet and things that grow up around the bank and make it look really bad. So we started getting rid of some of that, and we found that you wouldn't believe how clear that water is.
Is it from a spring?
Honestly, I don't know what the origin is.
But make me wonder if it's clear.
Yeah, we've been talking about that actually. That Rock Creek does empty out into the Elk, which then again goes to Tim's Ford. So we know where the end is, but I've never looked back to see what the source is. But the water in that stretch right there, when we went down to look at it and start, to lay out our work plans for how we're going to clean that up, I was amazed at how clear that is. Maybe not crystal, especially now that we've had some rain, but when it's just the standard running water, so I was heartened by that.
And to get all that cleaned up, it'll be really pretty.
Yeah, and so one of the programs that we're planning on doing with that, we got some help from Alderman Robin Dunn, was able to secure a grant from the TVA for water quality programs. So we've got a great program that we're planning for that called Kids in the Creek. We're going to have we've got some equipment down there to test water quality.
Yeah.
So we'll teach them, we're going to get them down in the water, get them dirty, kicking over rocks
awesome.
and all that stuff, and teaching them
love
how to.
that.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I spent my life in the creek when I was growing up.
Yeah, so I did too. When I was in the Boy Scouts as a kid, any campground we went to that had water, we were in it.
You're in
so,
it.
So that's going to be a fun program when we can have it. We're really excited about that one. And that kind of goes along with forestry too, because there's a water quality component that goes into keeping those riparian areas healthy and cleaned up. So we're grateful to Alderman Dunn for her work on getting that big grant.
Kind of a hard worker. She
is.
Gets out there and gets it done.
And that's something she's passionate about too, is those environmental projects, and it's been a lot of fun working with her and helping her put those together. So one of the other cool things that we've had come up is the Tennessee Urban Forestry Council has revived an old program that they used to have back in the 70s and 80s. It's called the Champion Tree Program.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah,
the
so
Champion Tree Program.
Yeah, so what they do is you look around for trees that are relatively large and whatever species they are, and you can nominate them to be the champion oak or willow or whatever it is.
You submit to pictures or?
Yeah, so on the TUFC website, they have a place on there where you can go in and you enter your information as the nominator, the person who owns the property, where the tree is located, and then information about the tree. And they do request pictures. Right now, pictures aren't so great of trees because they're all bare.
Right.
But if you have some other pictures. But we went ahead, we found one here in Tullahoma that we decided to nominate for that program.
And what kind of tree is it?
It's a willow oak.
A willow oak.
Which is this one's a particularly large oak tree. And willow oaks have long, thin, if you know what a willow tree or a standard willow tree looks like, it has long, thin leaves that are with it. So I've heard people call them a pin oak, but that's not a pin oak.
I had wondered. I grew up loving to play under the willow tree.
Oh yeah.
You could.
Well, the leaves on this tree
yourself.
look like that, but it's an oak tree.
It's an oak tree.
But it's a monstrous one. Right off of Lincoln Street, the businesses that are around it there are St. Barnabas Church, there's Emil's on one side, and then the tree is directly behind the Painted House. It's Miss Roan's business there, and she owns the property where that tree is on. So I spoke to her a couple days ago and made sure she was okay with it. We went ahead and nominated that tree. So
good.
The Forestry Council will send out an inspector to take all the measurements and all that stuff. So we'll find out if we made the list.
So what are some of the criteria for making it a champion tree?
It goes by canopy size, which is easier to tell when there's leaves on it. It's easier to determine that. So right now it's a little difficult, but the trunk base, the width of the trunk base, the circumference around, the height.
Do you have any notion how old that tree would be?
Ooh, wow. It's difficult to tell for certain, but if I had to guess, it's probably 250 or better.
Wow.
It's an older tree.
Wouldn't that be exciting to have that winning tree in our community? I love the idea.
And there may be other willow oaks in Tennessee that are bigger, but until they're nominated, we would have the champion. So there's it's not in Tullahoma necessarily, but there's a eastern hemlock up in the Fiery Gizzard Trail system that they estimate to be about 415 years old.
Oh my!
It's huge. It's about 12 foot around the bottom. I was thinking about the age of a tree. If you think about that in the concept of years, that hemlock is 400 and something years old. Well, we didn't even have American independence until 1776.
No.
So that tree predates the United States.
Yeah.
If that willow oak, if I'm guessing correctly, and it is 250 years old, well, that's what, 1770? Am I doing my math right?
Maybe around the time of.
It may even predate
the Constitution.
Right. So, if you look at a tree and you find one that size, the history that it has witnessed.
Well, I have a huge, I think it's a beech tree in my yard by the pool, and I have browns come out every once in a while to make sure it's going to stay there. I don't want it to fall on me. But I love that tree. It is humongous, and I think it's really old. But who knows?
Maybe it might be eligible for a champion tree. You never know. But yeah, so in doing forestry, that's another thing that we do at Parks and Rec besides just regular programming and exercise and sports.
Well, it's amazing what all you do, and I know we mentioned. I can't remember. Did we mention to the people what you wanting to do in your building? here, offering people a chance to come in and use the facility?
Well, yeah. Once we're open back up, you know, and we can have classes and group gatherings again. You know, we're looking for instructors for all different sorts of things that we can partner with to offer more programming to the citizens of Tullahoma.
If you're out there and you're really good at something and you would like to share that with the rest of the community,
yeah, just give me a call.
They can call Lyle Russell at Parks and Recreation and talk to him about it.
Yeah, our number is 455-1121. I'm not hard to find. I'm there a lot.
Okay.
So you can always call and ask for me and leave me a message, and we'll evaluate what you want to do and see if that's something that fits with our programming. And
well, Lyle, they're cutting us off.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to tell you goodbye. I hope you'll come back.
Anytime.
All
Thanks for
right.
having me.
Good luck.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Peggy, we're back.
Are we saying goodbye?
We're saying goodbye. We have 45 seconds.
Time to say goodbye. Well, this has been a great show.
Good night. Farewell. I'll be just saying goodbye. Adieu.
I hope people.
Adieu to you and you and you.
Da 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 da
da da da da.
I hope that people will remember about the art exhibit.
Oh, I hope so too.
That is such an amazing
incredible
thing coming to our little town here in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
There's so many wonderful things about this little town. Why do you think everybody's wanting to come here?
Oh, I guess they are.
They are. They love us, and we love them. Welcome to the village, all of you folks out there, you new folks. Anything we can ever do for you, give us a buzz. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.